Hey everybody, we are standing here with our new slab foundation behind us. The pour was yesterday. It's been a hard fought battle over the last 6 months,
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah.
Um, the last 4 months, we've actually been making a good bit of progress on it and working with different people and vendors, contractors to make this happen. I mean,
It's been a journey though.
yeah,
It was back in the fall that we first started looking for people to work with us on our project. And it was hard to find anyone who was kind of willing to accommodate what we were looking for because we had some specific requests of things that we wanted to do. We wanted to not use the wire mesh in the
right.
foundation. We wanted to mix in the
They're fibers.
fibers.
Yeah, they're itty bitty little synthetic fibers. Act like uh, pine straw or a different straw that back in the day when they made bricks. Same
Yeah.
concept. To keep the concrete together.
So we wanted to do that. We wanted to use foam around the outside of the foundation to really increase our insulation value, and that's something a little more foreign to some contractors down in the south, more common up north. So, and that's if we got anybody to talk to us at all. A lot of the systems were automated. A lot of them didn't even return our calls because we're just
Yep.
one house. We're not a subdivision. We're not a big contractor looking for things, and so we couldn't find a lot of people to bid the project for us.
So back in March, early
Mm-hmm.
March, Steph and I were walking down B Road, right next to where I'm living right now, and we came across some neighbors, and they told us that hey, these guys live across the street. They run a concrete and grading company, and I was like, what? We've been looking for months for concrete and grading folks to come help us out on our project. Within a couple of days, I flagged down one of their drivers coming up and down the road, and he immediately let me follow him up to their office, and I met Clay Caldwell of Caldwell Poured Solutions, and Clay was very receptive. We sat down with the plans for a little bit, and he said, "Yeah, we can do this," and it really kind of got us going finally.
Finally.
After many months of trying to just get somebody to talk to us, um, and that really kind of started uh, us down the path to where we are today. But Mother Nature has been our nemesis. Rain, so
Rain.
much rain. Anybody that lives down here, I think the whole country has had a bunch of weather the past several months, but about 50%, 60% of the time, we are waiting for rain to either
Mm-hmm.
stop or for the soil to dry out, different things. And that's been the biggest delay. So it was early March, like March 13th, when I met Clay for the first time, and we poured on July 13th. So 4 months to get to this point, and half that time was just rain delays.
Yeah, when we got the grading finally done out here, it was kind of late April, early Mayish, and they were able to grade out the land for us and pull out all of the stumps. We had 150, 200 stumps that were all about waist high of everything that we've cleared here, and they look like little zombie babies when you pull them out of the ground. So we had an entire mountain of these zombie babies. It was taller than you are,
Yep.
and that was fantastic. But then we're waiting on a dumpster to come and take the zombie babies away. And the dumpster got delivered, and then it rained. The dumpster was supposed to be picked up, and it rained.
Yep.
And then it rained, and it rained, and it rained. And so one of the other things that we got to spend our time doing was erosion control because of all of the rain.
Yes.
So we covered the hills with straw and clover and grass seed and lions and tigers and bears and
But we finally got to the point where the area was graded in a way that we could properly pick the spot for the house. We had a good idea. We had staked it a long time ago, but until Sam, who works for Clay, was out and cleared everything out, got it leveled off for us, then we were like, okay, we could stake it out. And that's when John Wright, with he works with Clay, but he's all this Wright's concrete services, came out, and that's when they actually formed and framed up what you see here today. And again, that was one of the several visits that they've made out here because of the process that we have to involve.
yeah, so after we got it framed out, then we were ready to look at everything that we wanted to put inside the foundation, which meant we were looking for a plumber. And we hit a lot of the same challenges of people not wanting to bid a small project, of people not really doing this type of work. And so it took a friend of a friend and my parents at a birthday party and a special favor and a once in a lifetime kind of connection to
Right.
find Andy.
Right.
And Andy works with Alternative Plumbing and said that they only do these like new home foundation installs like once or twice a year, usually as like a favor for someone. So we love Andy.
Yes.
We love Andy and his crew. They did fantastic. They got out here at the end of May. They were supposed to start in the middle of June, putting stuff in the foundation,
Yeah.
but what happened?
Rain.
Rain.
Again,
More
rain. So it just, every time it rains, it's not just the day that it rains. It's, you have to let it dry out. There's cleanup afterwards. So it's been a struggle. It really has. It's frustrating, but I mean, we just keep pushing through. And again, with Andy's team, and Andy was really communicative with us. Finally got out here. They were energetic. I mean, had a bunch of young guys digging trenches, and so most of the white piping you see out behind us is the wastewater plumbing stuff, and that has to be done perfectly. Like it has to have a certain drop off so that the wastewater can run out of the house properly with gravity. Although we think we probably could have done it, it's
I'm really glad we didn't.
right. They know what they're doing, and they did it in a couple of days, and it took it off our plate. We didn't have to worry about it, but we did learn a lot from them, watching them, how they mark things off. They use, string stakes, all the things, because we had to put our own piping in the ground. So we had low voltage, electrical, the water main, radon, and other like water services and power services that we're planning for the future. We did not want to poke holes in the side of our house now or in the future, because we have a garage that we're going to build later on. We ran everything underground. Again, that takes a lot of accuracy. We're out here with String, Stephanie, her math skills. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. She got us organized and got everything exactly accurate so that we could dig and put everything in the ground.
So that's all the thin gray pipes that you see, and some of the white ones also. That's stuff where from the outside it goes under the footing to the inside, where it comes up in an interior wall where we'll be able to access it and pull string things through down the road so that we don't have to poke holes in anything. So that part came after John and Jose's crew were able to come out, and they did the grading.
Yep.
And then we put in a bunch of stuff. Andy put in a bunch of stuff. We passed inspection with all the stuff that Andy had in the ground, which was a little bit chaotic because the skies were like dark gray and everything was rumbly, and we had our inspector down here just trying to do things as quickly as possible so that we could bury the pipes. You have to have them exposed for the inspection so that the inspector can see that everything's right. But you want them buried before it rains so that they don't float away, and all
Right.
that perfect leveling is completely destroyed, and we were trying to avoid destruction.
And Andy was a trooper. He was out here for the inspection, but as it started raining, pouring down on us, we're all slinging dirt and mud and just trying to get as much as we could on top of the pipe so they
Don't
didn't
float away.
Right? So we appreciate Andy's work on the main part of the project, but also to be here just to, bury it as quick as we can so we didn't have to do it over again.
So we got it buried.
Yep.
Then John and Jose came out and they brought out the gravel, like
Yep.
really thin, small gravel that goes over everything.
Yep.
Then at that point, that's when we trenched in our passive radon system
Yeah.
that we're installing.
So we don't know for sure that we'd ever have radon gas. So that's a gas that comes up from the earth, and in some parts of the country, it's a major problem. It causes health problems inside the house. People don't even know it. So it costs very little for us to put piping that we drilled a bunch of holes in underneath the vapor barrier, the plastic they eventually put down, so that it can soak it up, essentially. Like it can be down there collecting the gases. And we ran a
Vent
pipe,
it.
and we ran a pipe, it's one of the pipes back over here, so that later on we will run a radon test just to make sure, and if it's positive, if it's an actual problem, we've already set ourselves up for success. It will be a minimal cost to pipe that radon gas from under the slab before it even tries to get into the house. So that's the reason we did that.
Instead of having to break up the slab later,
Yeah.
because we finally have the slab, we love the slab, we want to keep the slab forever.
Right.
Not break it into a bunch of pieces because of something we could have prevented now.
Right, exactly.
So we did all of that.
Then it
Then
was-
they came and put the plastic
Right.
vapor barrier down, and then it rained.
It rained hard. and it flooded the footers again and put mud and muck in there. So this was this past weekend, and what are we doing again? Cleaning out the footings, and
I'm so tired
Yeah.
of digging mud.
Right.
It's like really
Act-
gross mud too. It's really
Actually,
It's
before we
gross.
dug it out, we did pass inspection. So
We did.
Monday morning,
more inspection.
yeah, it was an inspection, and we passed it. But that was one of the things the inspector says, like, you got to dig this out before you actually pour. So of course that's what we did, and we already knew that we were going to need it cleaned out because the last step for us was the foam. As Steph mentioned earlier, we put the foam insulation, and you can kind of see it along the edges.
It's like 2 inches thick, and it's all the way around the outside of the foundation. It's like a big old blanket wrapping it up to help increase our insulation value, because that's very important to us.
So John and his team, I mean, they all along that they were going to help us install it, but we were trying to get ahead of the game. So Tuesday, Wednesday, we were out here trying to clean everything out, get foam installed, and Wednesday we're out here, and it's just like this one cloud just dumps water for an hour, and Steph and I look at us and we just throw our hands up. We had to leave. There was nothing. There was no choice, and we came back yesterday morning for the pour, just hoping, praying that John and his crew and Jose could get everything going, and they did. It was amazing. Like they saw how we were installing the foam. We put a vapor barrier under throughout the footings as well. So a lot of times they put the vapor barrier over the middle part, but the footings are along the outside. They don't. We did because we wanted to encapsulate the foam and hopefully prevent termites and whatnot from getting in later on down the road. But everything was great. I mean, like they worked. Everybody got to work real hard yesterday.
It did. We had this little system where we have a piece of flashing that's between the foam and the wood form. So when we go back and we're taking the wood form off, we're able to crowbar against the flashing instead of against the foam to help preserve the happy insulation blanket that we have.
So I mean, like this is it. I mean, yesterday was the pour. We were really excited. We sat here most of the day, just watched them. We kind of pitched in when we could, but they did their thing. It was amazing to watch. Those guys are really talented, and you can tell when a crew knows what they're doing. And we're so grateful for being here.
It was cool to see the massive pumper truck. I don't
Yeah.
know what you call it.
It's a
The
pump truck.
concrete pumper truck with like the long, big rainbow going over the entire site so it could get to the back corner. It was called the Putzmeister, which is my new favorite name for anything ever. So, yeah.
All right, so we're good. I mean, like, so I guess enjoy the rest of the video. We've taken videos, time lapse, and hopefully it'll kind of explain the process, and you'll get a more deeper understanding.
Let's go check it out.
Take care.
baby, drive.